So I'm a little worried. I haven't seen the cat since before the storm. There's no tracks anywhere. I even took like a walk around on the trail out back here and went out back of the garage and, on the trail and called for Tobias and went all the way around up, and then the trail comes back up after the house over there. So I said the other day, there's the trail that's just 2 houses down, and there's nothing, like there's no fresh tracks that I could see outside of my fence or along there or on the other side or anything by the garage. And the only tracks that I saw, and it's like a, what do they call it, a migration route, I guess. It's always there, like whether it's squirrels or the cats or whatever, it's this trail that goes from the other side of the path and goes towards a big carriage house that I mentioned in the last video. So that's the only trail that I see, and that trail does not even have any fresh tracks on it. So when I was walking by, I came up onto my road and looked at the burnt house. There's a hole that we had seen previously that the cats had gone in there. Now, I had believed the cats had stopped going in there because they had run into some other animal that may be trapped in the house that may not know how to get out of the house once it's in there. I think the cats are pretty smart and they got in and out for shelter, but I think there may be something in the house that stopped them, or that the cats might have been in the house when the guys came to take out the appliance and it scared them from being in there. I don't know. But anyways, that hole that was access for the cats was plugged up with a lot of snow, because those guys had shoveled their driveway, and the kids had actually played along there, and they had covered up the hole. I didn't want to I didn't want to stick them, I didn't want to upset anybody. I didn't want to wreck what the kids, even though it's actually not their property or my property, I didn't want to wreck what the kids had. They had a little kind of fort that they had built there, and I didn't want to destroy that, but and unplug the hole. So I came home and I messaged Jess, who's the mom, and Al is a good buddy of mine. Our bands didn't play together. We kind of were competition back in the day, but we're friends now. So I messaged her and said, look, I'm a little bit worried that the cats may have taken shelter in the house and the hole is plugged up. Is it okay if I unplug that hole? I just didn't want to wreck your kids' fort. And they were like, oh, the kids are away. I'm sick, so the kids are away for a few days. So go ahead, they can build another one. So I went over and just quickly dug out the hole and kind of yelled for Tobias. And so we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully if they were trapped in there, it wasn't like, days. It was like 24 to 48 hours, if that, maybe 36. But hopefully they're okay. I called the landlord's guy today because the guy who plowed the driveway actually pushed the snow right up onto my steps. I'm not a quadriplegic. I can shovel some snow, a little bit of snow, but he had pushed all the heavy duty ice and stuff that had blocked the front of the driveway right up onto my fucking steps, and it was like, what the hell? So I called him and I said, look, I don't know if the guy's mad at me because the last time that he didn't plow the driveway, I had to call like a day and a half later and say, hey, can he plow our driveway? So I don't know if he was mad and he just fucking did this. The landlord guy said that he thinks he was just behind and in a hurry. The landlord's guy said he did drive around to a couple of the houses that the owner of this house owns, and this guy's like a superintendent, I guess that should be the word I'm using. So his superintendent drove around and actually saw, I guess they have a guy who is like completely disabled, has no arms and no legs, and he didn't even plow his driveway. So they got a little problem with their plow guy. But he actually did come and shovel me out, and he actually did say that he was going to send somebody to get rid of the snow that's in front of the garage, because he was like, I don't know why he's doing that. And I was like, well, hey, we don't use the garage much, but, if he could unblock the garage, that'd be fucking awesome. So he may send somebody over with a snowblower or something to get rid of all the snow that's there. I don't think he will, but we'll see.